Okay, so a few parts laid out here for issue 51 of the Ferrari. Once again, I'm not going to be using them, so I'll keep them in the packaging until we do get around to using them. But yeah, check them all off, all there. Once again, yeah, I'll be using these ones in this issue. So, pack them all away, and then get into what we're actually going to be doing. It's quite exciting though in this one. I'm fitting a lot of the parts to the frame. Okay, so first thing we're doing is bringing over the frame and the cockpit section, and quite simply fitting these together. Okay, so yeah, just going to be watching what we're doing with these cables and wires and things, and I think it's just going to be a case of putting this onto here and then attaching it from underneath with two Type T screws. Okay, and there's something that you have to do here that's in the video but isn't in the instructions, and it's quite simply quite difficult to see, I guess, but there's a pipe that goes basically onto the firewall, but it's a pain. You have to kind of bend it. Okay, pipe goes onto the firewall. Quite difficult to see, it's black on black, but there's a pipe there, and if you know, you'll know about it. Okay, now there's a little bit here that it seems, once again, they're kind of forgotten about, I guess, because you go, I've watched most of the videos now, and if you go all the way forward to kind of issue 99, there's these little parts, tiny little parts, well, not tiny parts, but these detail parts that you fit in issue 99. Now I think they're going to be easier to fit now before this is fitted into the body, so that's what I'm going to do. They go just behind the seats on these, so I'm going to fit them now so I don't have to do them when this is all encased in the body. There's a left and a right. They are marked, very difficult to see, I think, but yes, they are marked with a left and a right. So I'm just going to fit these now. Now they only fit in on the back here, behind the seats. So, as I say, yeah, just going to fit them now, rather than waiting all the way until this is actually attached to the actual body of the car and all that kind of stuff. And you've got to kind of get by the doors and everything. So hopefully a little bit easier to fit. Okay, so I think that's what that's meant to look like. It's kind of at a bit of an angle. Not the easiest to put in. I'm glad I'm kind of doing this before I've got all the car in the way. Do the right hand one as well. So it's kind of in that orientation. Yeah, kind of looks like that. You can see it. Okay, now we're bringing over the dashboard. Now the dashboard's going to be fitted. I believe this is just kind of a push fit, but you've got to make sure, obviously, that all the cables and wires and everything are going to kind of go down. They have to be fed through this area here. Just see that clearing. Go down into there, so they all have to be kind of fed through that hole there under the steering column, and then obviously the steering column goes through the steering column guide. So I'm just going to try and make sure that all the wires and everything are fed through the dashboard correctly, because then we're going to have to feed these through that little gap. Do them individually. You've got quite a bit of slack, so you can do them all individually if you want, I guess, if they go through. Once they're through, I guess you can, I think they go down, so I'll show you after I've done it, but yeah, kind of go down through the body. Down, I can kind of feed them through. And kind of keep them out of the way, hopefully, the steering column. I don't. Okay, I think that's wrong. That white wire's wrong. That white wire's got to go under there. Yeah. This is fiddly and horrible, because you've got to make sure that all these wires go in the right kind of orientation, and it ain't easy. Make sure they kind of all go around and above, I think, the pedals. Underneath the dashboard. I think these cables go through this tunnel. Anyway, yeah, difficult to put on. That was very difficult to put on. Just getting it to sit flush and getting all the wires through. I think the key was to get the wires through. Yeah, make sure the wires are actually routed correctly, but not easy at all. Okay, so just as an update to the build for this issue, I did notice that after I'd fitted this, that the cable, that yellow cable with the red connector, did seem very, very short. As it came out the tunnel there underneath the model. The actual circuit board's going to go onto those 4 pegs that you can see at the back there, and I thought there was no way that cable, that connector, is going to reach the circuit board when it's sat there. So I kind of took everything apart again after spending half an hour trying to fit it, and discovered that the actual routing of the cable underneath the dashboard seemed to be the problem. So that yellow cable was routed round those mounting pillars for the switch. So I've rerouted that now and taken it the other side so it doesn't go round the pillars, it goes kind of through, as you can see in the picture. Then I refitted everything, and it seems to have given it enough slack now just to make sure that that red connector is actually going to kind of fit onto the circuit board at the back there. Not too sure if that might be a problem for anybody else, but I just thought I'd kind of add that into this build video just as an update there, because I was quite concerned, and I look forward a few videos, and you can definitely see that that cable, that connector does need obviously to attach to the circuit board that's going to fit on the back of the cockpit section. So yeah, so just an update there to what I've done on the build. Now we've got some tie rods from 43. 43's back. We've got some tie rods, and they're going to be fitted on with type H screws. Okay, so they just look like that. I'm just trying to work out which way they go. So they got that end goes onto the, if you like, that end goes on like that, and that goes into there, and it's type H screws I think at both ends. Oh no, type P screws. Use the type P screws where circled. H screws. So the H screws are for the bottom, P screws for the top. Okay. Finally, you're going to take these thin wire hoses, if you like, that are coming off the reservoirs, master cylinders, for the brake and clutch, and then they're going to have to go into very difficult to see part, actually on the firewall. It's right in there, so it's going to be very difficult to see. So I'll just probably pull up the image and then I'll do it, and hopefully be able to show you some of the result. But in fact, I'm not too sure if you can see it, but yeah, there's some pins in there. So these are going to come out and go into there. So I've just got to make sure I get the right ones on the right pin. And they're numbered. You got 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. And so number 1. And these are going to go through this. There's a hole in the top here. We'll do number 1 first. Through this hole. Make sure it doesn't have to go over or under the steering rack. Okay, so the way it shows it is I've done it slightly wrong. Comes down and it goes under the steering rack. Or between the steering rack and the and the anti-roll bar. Number 2. I have to super glue that on. Yeah, you have to super glue that on. Okay, so a little bit of super glue on there to keep that on there. That hose on. Woo! That was a tough issue, that. But it's done. Hopefully, yeah, that's on, that's on, that's on. That's on, that's on, now on, yeah. Hopefully, I don't have to come off again. There we go. So that was a very tough issue 51 done there. Yeah, just very fiddly getting those on and making sure they're on correctly. Nice centre image though. It's a iconic Ferrari, black and white image again. So that was issue 51. Issue 52 is putting together the frame. So putting together the frame. So all the stuff we've had in probably these last few issues, 49, 50, 51. We're just going to be kind of putting that together by the looks of things. So that'll be issue 52. That'll be coming soon. So keep an eye out for that. So that was my presentation of this issue of Build a Ferrari F40 Competizione by Panini Collections and Centauro magazine. And if you'd like to see progression of this model from where it is now up to completed car, then don't forget to subscribe, and you can click the bell if you'd like to be notified anytime that a video goes live on the channel, because I've also got, I'm building an Ecto 1 and a Spitfire as well. They're both part builds, so you can check those out as well. But hey, thank you very much for watching. Hope to catch you again on the channel soon. Take care and ta-ra for now.